In my first video, I said that I was going to have my son try sleeping in the back of the Escape. And someone actually asked me whether he fit or not. And the answer is we don't know yet. Because unfortunately, last summer, days before we left on our road trip, someone actually rear ended my sweet little car. And it had to go into the shop. It was actually not drivable or not safe to drive. And so we've had to take a rental car. So we've never actually tried having him sleep in the back of this car. Well, we've made it to the first place that we're boondocking for the night. We are up near Crater Lake in Oregon. Camping at a snow park, actually off on a dirt road behind the snow park. So, this is the moment of truth. We've got to set up the sleeping platform and we'll see how well my son fits. If he doesn't fit, this is going to be a really long trip. Because we're going to be gone for like 7 nights. So, yep. We may have to pop open the window at back and let him stick his feet out. Oh, well. All right. Let's get set up. Well, as you can see, it's a fairly snug fit. That's about the limit of what you can fit. Maybe 1 more inch, right? Maybe up to 6'3". We'll see. We'll see how comfortable it is. But now...
Well, not if you want to stretch out.
Yeah, but see, now comes... Here, take this. Now comes the real issue. Can I get in while you're here without, like, bumping into you? Oh, man. Not easily. That's what I have to say. Not easily. It's possible, but I'm about to crash into him. All right. Hey, that wasn't so bad, actually. Okay. Cool. Well, we've just spent our 3rd night in the car, and at this point, I can comment on how well our sleeping setup is working for my son, who, remember, is about 6'2", just a hair shy of 6'2". So every morning when he wakes up, I ask him, how he slept. And although he has complaints about the sort of foam I've chosen to sleep on, he has absolutely no complaints about whacking into, the headrest or, the window on the other end. He's fine with that. So I think you can comfortably fit a 6'2" person in there. Possibly even 6'3", although I haven't tested that. So 2 things about how your results might be different from mine. First of all, if you change the height of your sleeping platform, you may change how much space is available. So in general, the higher your sleeping platform, the more space you're going to have, is my experience. I put our sleeping platform on top of 12-inch pipes, and so that gives you an idea. If you put it up like 15 inches or whatever, you might have a couple more inches, but then of course there's that much less room for you to like sit up and climb in and everything. The second thing is there's actually more space behind the driver's side than the passenger side. I don't know why this is, and it's not a lot. It's just a couple of inches as far as I can tell. But I have the kiddo sleeping behind the driver's seat because that actually, I think, makes the difference between him being able to sleep without bumping into things or not. So I've always slept behind the passenger side. I'm only 5'9" though, so of course it's a lot easier for me to sleep under those conditions. And so if you're over 6 feet, I would definitely sleep behind the driver's side. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is, would I take my son out on another expedition like this? And the answer is probably no. I mean, obviously, I'm going to take him tent camping, which I have done a lot. But sleeping in a car with him is pretty tough for me. And here's why. First of all, he's an extremely restless sleeper. And although he has yet to actually whack into me, he does shake the car when he tosses and turns, and that wakes me up, which is not great. The second thing is, he and I have very different internal clocks in that I like to go to bed at like 10:30, I think is usually when I prefer dropping off when I'm camping. And he does not naturally go to bed anywhere near that time. So I think, although we had lights out by 11, I think he's been dropping off after midnight. At home, he's often awake till like 2 or 3 a.m. So anyway, I usually get up at first light. He usually has to be forcibly awakened at 9. And I like to be on the road by 7. So I'm not getting in the sightseeing, the driving, etc. that I would get if I were on my own. So again, I don't mind tent camping with him, and we'll definitely do that in the future. These sorts of long road trips where I go out and I just drive and drive, stay at each place one night. Just really not great with him. You know, it sounds sad, but he's 19. He'll deal. He's only got a couple years left of college, so, you know, he's not going to be around much anyway.
Hey, this is just the first video of many that I made on this road trip. So if you want to see what went down on our super long 2,700 mile road trip in 8 days, subscribe. This is not your typical travel video because you have a scientist narrating, and I'm going to tell you a lot about the science of the places we're going to. So please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.